Heart disease is the #1 killer of women in this country. 10 years ago,
osteoporosis and arteriosclerosis and cancer and autoimmune disease.
The number of people with diagnosed and undiagnosed diabetes will nearly
Surgeon
double.
General, this could be the first generation of children in the United States that lives less than its parents.
40% of young children ask to go to McDonald's every week. 15% of preschoolers ask every day. So 84% of parents say they've taken their kids for fast food at least once in the past week.
It began back in 1946 when young men were joining the armed services. They were entering experiencing malnutrition. So back then, President Truman created the school lunch program to assist families that were in need of assistance. As things progressed, the focus changed to portion sizes in the school lunch program because now young men seem to be overweight.
We want to eliminate this problem of childhood obesity in a generation. 1 in 3 kids are overweight or obese, and we're spending $150 billion a year treating obesity-related illnesses.
In 30 years, we have gone from being svelte, if you will, to basically being unbelievably sick. That's what an epidemic, or a pandemic in this case, looks like.
All people are obese is one thing. They may think this doesn't pertain to me, but obesity affects all of us when we're all affected by healthcare premiums.
Metabolic syndrome is the cluster of diseases that tend to travel with obesity. So they are type 2 diabetes, lipid problems, hypertension, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and dementia. These are the diseases that the obese certainly get in greater frequency. However, people think that obesity causes these diseases. That's what I'm telling people. That is not the case. We now know that there are several other diseases that fall within this scope as well. For instance, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which now affects 1/3 of all Americans. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, which affects 10% of all women. Cancer, and also dementia. Now, here's the key. When you add up the medical costs for those 8 diseases, that is 75% of health care expenditures. Not just ours, not just America, but all over the world. So much so that in September of 2011, the United Nations Secretary General announced that non-communicable disease, that is chronic metabolic disease, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, cancer, dementia, now posed a bigger threat to the developing world, not the developed world, the developing world, than did acute infectious disease, and that includes HIV.
Some think government needs to get involved. San Francisco just banned restaurants from handing out toys with meals if they contain more than 600 calories and more than 10% saturated fat.
With America's obesity epidemic getting worse, the mayor of New York City, Michael Bloomberg, is determined to do something about it. And what he wants to do is outlaw what he calls supersized sodas and other sugary drinks.
In an effort to win or at least compete in the battle of the bulge, Mayor Bloomberg is proposing a wide-scale ban on sugary and sweetened beverages over 16 ounces, principally sodas, served at restaurants, movie theaters, food carts, even the ballpark.
We can continue to encourage students to eat their fruits and vegetables, try new things. The bottom line is if you eat your veggies and fruit and make healthy choices.